and all of life's gifts that one cherishes. You see, the world is simplistic scene. You're never thinking it gets me. And so you think of different things, places you're going, all the love that it brings. You dream someday of pasture land and hot warm summers on the sand, and horses and carriages and all of life's gifts that one cherishes. The stars are shining in for you. You haven't got much of a roof, but your loneliness won't make you run. Never go home or think of where you've gone. You know someday it will come true. It will be waiting there for you. The horses and carriages and all of life's gifts that one cherishes. The horses and carriages and all of life's gifts that one cherishes.
At that house, it turned out, it was crazy. They moved to Baton Rouge and left me at the house, but she left a piano there. But the neighbor came to move that piano. She told me she was selling it to the neighbor up the street, and the guy right behind that house came over, and he said that he grew up in the house behind this one, and this was Alex Chilton's house where he grew up. And his brother sadly had fallen out of a tree and had become an epileptic and had a seizure, and then he had a tragic accident and died at the house.
This is the house you were in?
My sister's house on Robin Hood Lane. And I did do a song there, I'm in Blue.
Hey, this is Dennis Black, and welcome to the Black and Wyatt Records podcast. This week, host Mike McCarthy talks with musician and artist Paul Woodard, also known as one-man band Poli Sci Clone. This will be a two-part interview where Paul deep dives into 25 Poli Sci Clone songs covering late 80s to present day, including collaborating with the Grifters, Joey Pegram and Wheat Buckley, among others. And now, here's Poli Sci Clone with a song that appeared on Sympathy for the Record Industry's 1997 soundtrack, The Sore Losers, called Alien Brains.
we have for our baby. Stay away from our baby. Her granny glasses, the best thing.
Did anybody write in a question?
Well, I did.
You did. This is that moment. Okay. Well, thanks for being on, Paul.
Thank you for having me.
You were here helping with Snow Globe. You were the co-host for Snow Globe. Was that last year? Dennis, you doing all right? I don't know why I'm so nervous. It's Poli Sci Clone's here.
That's why you're nervous.
I guess so. God knows what'll happen. So we just came out of a song. I wanted to start with Alien Brains because it's kind of a standalone Poli Sci Clone song, and it's kind of, you know what I mean? It didn't belong to any one record. So we just heard Alien Brains coming off of Dennis's intro.
Well, I did ultimately put it with a collection called Vibration.
What is it with you and the puns?
Well, I was thinking that it kind of got started around the Moody Blues concept albums.
How do you mean?
Each of the Moody Blues albums, if you're familiar.
I'm not. I'm sorry, I'm not.
They were conceptual and...
but the Moody Blues didn't use puns.
But their songs relative to the albums were kind of like... I wrote a lot of my songs... And then I thought, well, I just can't put this song with this song in a collection because this one's way out here referencing the ocean, and this one's over here referencing Alien Brains. You know,
you've always been very particular with the themes. Give everybody a run through on the album titles or the proper LP titles.
Well, my first one was my eponymous. If you regard me as Poli Sci Clone, but it was originally a band, band name. Going with Cyclone, with the hair band and everything, and the hairspray, and everything was going to be heavy metal. But I remembered the girl in Harold and Maude who had a minor in Poli Sci. So I was like, oh, I can't leave that out, so I got to combine it. Poli Sci Clone.
All right, well, so let's kick something off here. We've whetted everyone's appetite. What would you like to play, and then we can talk about it when we come back?
You could do from the first one, As a Circus.
seem too happy all the time when I'm so sad. People see me as a circus, all three rings and animal-laxed. But the tightrope out I'm crossing over, all the same if I fall down. You laugh and roll in such sweet clover when you see me as the clown. But I sold the act, you bought your tickets to the show. A matter of fact is my production, don't let go. And no one gets away without their Captain Candy or their lion tamers with your candied apples started drip. May be unhappy, but all my face is so wide. And I say on with the show and carry it on in through the night. And when I want to know you, you're just another face in the crowd. I try to show you my feelings, but I guess I'm just talking too loud. This simple-minded feature will never get me very far, unless you let me know you recognize me as the star. Maybe the world can see the greatest show on earth and have a laugh or two on me for what it's worth. But I sold the act, you bought your tickets to the show. A matter of fact is my production, don't let go. And no one gets away without their Captain Candy or their lion tamers with your candied apples start to drip. I'm so ashamed of being happy all the time if I'm so sad. People see me as a circus, all three rings and animal-laxed.
Okay, that was As a Circus by Poli Sci Clone from the first self-titled cassette. Can't really call it can you call it a record? I guess you can.
LP.
Are you saying you've been plagued by tape hiss your whole life?
Well, not towards the latter. That's why you don't like the latter ones, because they were getting too pristine.
Right. Well, no, you're still a great songwriter, and you have a way of playing that to me is very endearing and impressive. Whose circus were you writing about? What was that all about?
Well, I don't know. I wouldn't say it came from a dream or anything.
Was it an impression you had as a boy or something?
I think it was because I couldn't play the Here Come the Gladiators, so I kind of did my own like circus song. But I liked the Leo Sayer, and
I know you like Leo Sayer.
Yeah. And
why do you like Leo Sayer so much?
Because he was like in DeLand, Florida, there weren't a lot. There were like 2 or 3 record stores that the people would only buy. Like, we're stocking it with 12 records. Try this one. It was like, oh, you wouldn't like that. No, but that one was the David Bowie.
Yeah.
But at any rate, well, it turns out he wrote Roger Daltrey's first solo album that I think I learned later.
Really?
Just a Boy was written, and
Just a Boy?
Mm-hmm.
See, I had no idea about that. To me, it's like You Make Me Feel Like Dancing. Is that Leo Sayer?
It is.
And to me, that's
that's like the Stones doing disco, or Kiss doing disco.
Is it?
Yeah.
But yet he becomes known for that.
Well, sure.
He becomes a millionaire for that, I guess. But to me, that's
to Australia. That is also the one that he was just a boy giving it all away. I guess when Leo Sayer later did the version, his album Just a Boy, and put that on there.
Wow, so you really have followed Sayer's career.
Earlier, yeah.
Has he passed away?
I don't think so.
Really?
I don't know.
Why can't Leo Sayer have a comeback?
He was on Big Brother. Boy, that was a catastrophe. Is a viral video of him losing it because they were going to make him wash his shorts in the sink.
That's a very lengthy explanation of As a Circus. Because it's as a circus. It's not about a circus. Mm-hmm. It's about life being led as a metaphor.
Kind of, yeah. And then I came with the very nihilistic Watch Iguana Do. And
what's the story behind that? What Iguana Do?
Well,
what's the story behind the title?
Well, I did some. I think I had the title from just like cool talk. What you doing? What you gonna do? But I did some doodles, and this one was I had a iguana or a lizard emerging from a nuclear bomb blast with a peacock and a deer scampering in the background, boulders flying out, and then I managed to get 12 songs on it, 6 on each side of my 4-track tape.
So in What You Wanna Do, what song would you want to play that best exemplifies? And we can play more than one if you like. You don't have to like pick just one.
All right, well, let's do Micromania.
Micromania, Mesopotamia, fields and funky, street ranging out, solid on Palladium, graphics and strange, and then so long. Flashy eyes on, what can she do in this forgotten land? Then she takes you by the hand, and as she was dance floor, her eyes victory love. Then with the silent love, you're in a time that once was marbles, bangles, and beads. Signs of the time of the flower dresses, artists that paint what their head says. Signs of the time should we fade. We've got our separate ways, tossed by the triumphs of wars over what it was all for. We have been blind to what we never could find. Now that's all we left behind. And as you on the dance floor, her eyes listening, Lord. Then with the silent unknown, you're in a time that once was baubles, bangles, and beads. Signs of the times of the 60s, flower dresses, artists that paint what their head says. Signs of the time surely fade. We've got our separate ways, tossed by the triumphs of wars over what was all for. And as you're still on the dance floor, your heart's beating pulse, carrying out its cause. And all that was once that once was, and all that was once that once was, and all that once was, and all that was once that once was, and all that once was.
That was Micromania by Poli Sci Clone from the What You Wanna Do record.
That one was appropriate for it because it was kind of Micromania was a I don't want to be influential here, but it had
What?
It had a hidden reference to Microdot. Well, this was back when I wanted my album label to be the Silly Sci Bin. You know.
I have really great memories of doing LSD with you,
Oh, yeah.
and I think some of the residual effect still might be here.
That doesn't happen. Unless it is psilocybin.
Well, I remember one night I was trying to finish a drawing. We were sitting in my room on North Greer, and I was finishing the drawing, and you were sitting over in the corner, and that was our night. That was our night. And that was about 92 or something like that.
Well, that was always great to come over and while you were drawing at that time. And I think that's when I was really appreciative that somebody was listening through these cassettes, because you put them on. And
I could relate to you. It's like, where's the audience? It's like I could relate in the same way with my movies. At least my comics had a distributor, but it's tough to get a singular message out, and your songs are very much that. They're very much a singular message because you're playing everything. I mean, I know you're talking about collaborators later. Let's play something else from what you're going to do. What would you play?
Driving Me Out of My Mind.
Don't know how to operate a computer, so I don't think I'll be able to drive in the future. Things are getting aerodynamic, yes, I should have taken up ceramics. But I hope for one thing, and it's playing with love won't bring, that my chauffeur lets me try once in a while, driving me out of my mind. Which of the lines in the road should I follow? Well, am I never even gonna get there tomorrow? Did I end up in a trash can on the sidewalk? I think my car just rolled on over onto the next block. And now the traffic lights are looking all too bright, and the steering column's tight. I make the best of driving me out of my mind. Those flashing lights are just a sign on the side of the road. You hear a bump in the night, 'cause I just ran over a toad. I stopped behind a car that says it breaks for animals, that stops behind a bus that says it stops at all railroad crossings. Put the tickets with the others. They can't stop me. Driving me out of my rather be in a simulator. Later I tell my creator I wasn't drinking, driving me out of my mind. I was thinking, driving me out of my mind. The light was blinking, driving me out of my mind.
Driving me out of my mind, Poli Sci Clone. What you're going to do when you were recording those songs, what was the theme? I mean, you discussed the theme of the cover, but there's not so much of a theme within the songs, are there?
It is. It's the nihilism of not having a lot of control. There's Requiem. There was my take on the war and all that kind of stuff on it.
What would that have been? The Gulf War or something?
Oh, well, I don't know. I was probably still reeling from Vietnam. Not being a participant.
Complaining about it?
Well, then I had, there was the famous pictures of the Sasquatch from that, like, real short black and white 8mm film where he's walking.
I think it's color.
It might be color. But at any rate, you know, I don't know why, but I got the concept of abominable legions and abdominal regions. And you're around the time that it worked out, it's just everything fell into place because you were working with Delana and the photographer
Dave
Thompson had those wonderful photographs, and I was able to utilize that and superimpose those images, and but I couldn't fit that title on the side of the cassette, and so I used the first letter of each of the title. And it turned out it was an acronym, ALIAR. And I'm like, what is a politician? A liar. So, gosh, this would have been like the one that landed. You know?
When you were recording 4-track, when you were recording Poli Sci Clone and What You're Going to Do, and then we're getting into A Liar here, Abominable Legions and Abdominal Regions, you were living on Meta. Correct? Mm-hmm. All those 4-track songs were recorded in your upstairs apartment. I
had the fortune to have recorded something in every place I'd lived in since 78 or 9. I started like some of my basic tapes that ended up with like Wishing and Indian Savant, and those were like brought from Florida. And I had been in a little boarding house, and I did the railroad, and then I did some upstairs on Meet In, and I got downstairs and Meet In. Mm-hmm. Lots of people use my ideas, not my ideas, but I mean, I had the idea that every time I heard the floor furnace come on and it started pinging, boy, I wanted to be right there with the microphone, but I never did catch that. But that I've heard people talking about that since then, where they caught that.
Well, and we caught that furnace in Teenage Tupelo in the scene in the basement, if that's the one you're talking about. Which record is Wishing on?
The first one, Poli Sci Clone.
We should jump back and hear Wishing. Can we do that?
Sure.
All right, we're going to hear Wishing, also from the first record.
What a chance I thought I had of becoming something in the view of a pair of blue eyes of someone who did. wanted to be, but the timing was all wrong. Now the time's gone away. I'm just wishing may I believe, so I don't have to grieve, that the moments were tossed, and we both feel they're lost. I wanna hold you right now, though I just couldn't say how, though I wish for a day, no, it won't be this way. How long must it take to learn that the moment you do for the ones that burn so deep in your heart that they only get turned to ashes? Tell me what becomes of me. Why did it take so long till I felt my need to only get, and then you leave, and then you're wishing. So I don't have to grieve that the moments were tossed, and we both fear they're lost. I wanna hold you right now, though I just couldn't say how, though I wish for a day, no, it won't come this way. May I believe, so I don't have to grieve that the moments were tossed, and we both feel they're lost. I wanna hold you right now, though I just couldn't say how, though I wish for a day, no, it won't come this way. Wishing
What are you wishing for, Paul?
I don't know. That was kind of a sad little story of unrequited love.
From your personal experience?
Yeah, I don't know.
From your high school
I
days?
guess so, sure. Well, I was a real late bloomer. And then, you got to leave it behind, so.
Leave the unrequited behind? But you can't because it's unrequited.
But you're just wishing,
A lot of poignant, abstract things going on that whole record, which draws you in. And I remember you must have given Bill Aker a tape.
Yeah.
Bass player for the Rockroaches.
Yeah.
And then he played it for George Cole. And then I came over and they said, listen to this. And this would have been maybe 91, over at George's house on Higbee. And I guess this would have been Poli Sci Clone, the first cassette. And I was completely taken with it. And, George and Bill, they were hard customers to impress. We might not have been playing music that was impressive, but we were hard to impress. It was only a matter of time before you sort of came into our friendship group and known you ever since, and have sort of been privy to these things where you go away for a while and then you come back and it's like, I got a new record, I got a new cassette, and it would always be mind-blowing. especially those formative years, those early 90s into the mid 90s. So I'm glad we're having a chance to talk about, especially those first three, and play some songs from them.
Well, before I met you guys, I'd done the open mics at the Daily Planet, if you remember the Daily Planet.
I went in there one time maybe.
Yeah.
But this was in the 80s.
Oh yeah, it was just and before meeting you guys.
Yeah.
And then also I had gone over. There was a place called the Babylon Cafe. It was behind Cecil's, or when Cecil's was Cecil's on Union.
Mm-hmm. Where Kroger is now.
Mm-hmm. And so the guy, I forget his name. I think his last name was something English, but I don't remember him later. Being ensconced in like the Midtown group, but he had run this club, and I know that they were doing bands over there. And so I went up and I said, "Do you think I could do a one night or something like that, and bring my guitar up, play with my tapes?" And he goes, "Oh, no, I don't want anybody to play with tapes." And so I got to do that with you guys once at the Antenna, and then I also a show at the Omni New Daisy, where I had taken an orchestra riser and made like around my keyboards and my drum equipment, and put on the tape, and I did 3 songs there. And by the third song, man, they had the lighters going and everything. It was ridiculous. But I think you met one of those guys later that had when you were at the mail center, and said they remembered me.
Who?
Well, he was in Saliva. I don't remember his.
Oh, okay.
Those guys.
Well, that was definitely the venue for that.
They had a band called Mistress. And,
really?
Yeah.
That's a good name.
From Germantown. And they, one of the guys, Peterson, said that I ought to do a song called Memphis Nights. And that went into my head and the back burner. And I ultimately came up with the Memphis Nights.
Can we play that right now?
Well, that jumps a little out of sequence, but sure.
Well, but it's earlier, right?
I did work on it earlier, and then
what did it wind up on?
National Treasure.
Oh, that is a jump.
Yeah.
But it actually goes way back to like 89, 90?
Yeah.
Well, let's play it.
Okay.
Memphis Nights.
the islands just made caravan away. You know that you've been wanting to go someday. Nothing beats the sounds of the bands beginning to play. Nights in Memphis are gonna sway. The Nile has got a pyramid or two. Now the mighty Mississippi's got one too. You gotta believe in what they do. Just watch them chase away your blues. Don't delay. Come away. See you in May. Take it away. I'll take it away. Alabama. Play a song for me. I put a field street. Oh, you bring back such memories.
It's kind of very intriguing to me, you playing Daily Planet and the New Daisy, and it's like, we didn't even know you were out there. But you moved to Memphis in '86.
Yes.
Were you playing immediately, or did you give it a couple years, or?
No, I couldn't get out immediately because I had been invited by my sister to come up, and she was going through her thing, and she had her daughter there, and I kind of would be there for the family at that time, kind of like I am presently.
You have a large family.
Yeah, I got 4 older sisters and a brother. The time I spent with them, I kind of, even though I would ride around and see and get the lay of the land, I still tried to get back and just. But at that house, it turned out, it was crazy. They moved to Baton Rouge and left me at the house, but she left a piano there, and I did do a song there, I'm in Blue. But the neighbor came to move that piano. She told me she was selling it to the neighbor up the street, and the guy right behind that house came over, and he said that he grew up in the house behind this one, and this was Alex Chilton's house where he grew up. And his brother sadly had fallen out of a tree and had become an epileptic and had a seizure, and then he had a tragic accident and died at the house.
This is the house you were in?
Mm-hmm, my sister's house on Robin Hood Lane. Across the street was Tommy McClure's mother, and one time Joan goes, Go over there and meet Tom. He was mowing the yard. He plays bass for Chris Christopherson. And I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't need to play the music. I mean, I was like it's like in the music scene regardless, you know. Mm-hmm. But just being there.
So did you record any of this at Chilton's Boyhood Home, or this was just...
Yes, this was on the piano, the beginnings of it.
Let's play I'm in Blue.
Getting over you are there with your head held high, and you don't care whether I live or not. Isn't that the way we expected it to be? Didn't we tell each other when we first knew how? To show our feelings that we thought were meant. Never cared less beforehand. Then they won't that I knew, and that telling you now would never do. to show my feelings that we thought we met. Never cared before. Then they won't.
I'm in Blue by Poli Sci Clone, recorded in the piano, recorded in the boyhood home of Chilton on Robin Hood Lane, and I want to say that was 987 Robin Hood Lane, the house.
That's it.
And your sister was in the airlines, right? She was an airline attendant?
Yes.
And so that's what brought you here, kind of indoctrinated you. You had this opportunity to live in Memphis, and then suddenly, boy, are you in it without even knowing it.
Well, I mean, I was so glad that she did, because being at the time from Florida, most everybody that was leaving out of Florida, they were going to Atlanta to find their success or whatever, and I just didn't want to go to Atlanta, i.e. North Florida, and I do feel like I got away. And then along with that, I mean, of all places to be if you're interested in music, Memphis, because it's mentioned in every rock and roll tune dating back to.
But before you got here, I guess I'm trying to fill in some holes from before you got to Memphis. Jacksonville, Florida?
No, DeLand and Daytona Beach.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, I went to junior high school where the Allman Brothers attended junior high. They weren't there at the time. But I did have a friend that said later how many times he was a critical care nurse, and he took care of Greg a number of times, in his aftermath of whatever it was, intubating.
Did he take care of Dwayne?
No. He never. I'm sure he was a lot younger than to deal with Dwayne.
Weren't there 2 motorcycle deaths in the Allman Brothers?
Coming out of Allman Joys and going into the Allman Brothers, there was Barry Oakley, who was the original bass player, and he also died on a motorcycle not far from where Dwayne died. But I did get to go to a songwriting class with a great guy, and he had recorded the Allman Joys, and he recorded the Nightcrawler. Well, his engineer recorded Little Black Egg and brought it in as a demo, and he said, well, we should just release that. I was going to say, when I did the open mics, it was always good, because I'd end up with something like a new guitar chord or something that they were stuffing into my arms when they were showing me the exit from the stage, telling me to take a hike. But
I don't see you doing a lot of covers. But when you play in a place like that, they're going to say, "Oh, do this and that." It's like, how did you encounter that?
I just waited for the band that was hosting to stop playing all the Creedence Clearwater Revival. And then I would go up and play something original.
Right. We still haven't gotten to Abominable Lesions yet.
Lesions, yes. There's still
Is
an
that
open wound.
But is this the cassette that has Candleabrum and...
No, that would... I'll jump ahead on that one real quick.
Okay.
That song also references water, because it was written about the Challenger explosion, or when I was in DeLand, and I was working at a bank, and this guy came around from the lunchroom, and he said, it looked like it exploded. And I said, what, the coffee maker? And he goes, no, the space shuttle exploded. And I went around to the room, and there was one of these windows that you could just see right out. And these women that were sitting at the table, they were white. They had no color, and they had just witnessed this. And the contrail of it just was still in the sky. It was awful.
You could see that?
Mm-hmm. And it was like that for a while. Yeah.
Okay, and I'm sorry, but how does that relate to the song Candleabrum?
It's, because of it's kind of like, a tribute song, putting you lit the candle for them and then going to the four corners of the earth and waiting for their return, It's just...
So how many cassettes did that wind up on, that song?
He may be right about that being on, I think that is originally on What You're Gonna Do. And it shows back up on Classic Aquatic, because Classic, I did draw Bracket Creek off the first album and Candleabrum back onto.
I swear we're going to get away from What You're Going to Do eventually, but can we play Candleabrum?
Sure.
Back
All right, we're back. That was Candleabrum by Poli Sci Clone off of What You Going to Do. And then it appears later on Classic Aquatic, which is kind of a little bit of a greatest hits, but you have original material on there too. But let's again, we're working towards it. Let's talk about, we keep going back to Abominable Legions, A Liar. What's your favorite tune on A Liar, Abominable Legions and Abdominal Regions that you'd want to play that's indicative of that?
There's a song called Lost in the Nick of Time.
All these songs seem to have stories behind them, so I'm not picking your brain, but I'm Lost in the Nick of Time.
Just the catchiness of the title, I guess. I tried to work it around.
But by this time, when you're recording Abdominal Lesions and wait a minute, Abominable Legions in Abdominal Regions, I could just say A Liar, but I'm not taking the easy route. I'm saying the whole damn title.
You know, I was in 9th and 10th grade. I was in a band, and that after I moved to DeLand, Florida, I would go back to Daytona Beach to play my bass guitar at the time with a band, and we were great. But we played these covers, you know.
What was the band called?
They settled on Menagerie.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I had a hand in that working title of the band, but it got them work, and they would call me over until they finally told me that, you know, when they practice, the singer plays bass. We're good. So, and I was like 19 miles away, so those guys would come back over with a band and joined with the band from DeLand, Florida, called Fantasia. And so I would see those guys.
In other words, you were always being pointed toward a career of doing your own thing and 4-track recording, which, you know, you were in good company with Shelby Bryan and Tim Filippa and Alicia Trout.
You guys, what I was getting at was that you guys were doing your original songs, and even, you know, your Rock Roaches. You guys did ask me to do your warm up. Well,
no, I mean, we were over with in '93, but A Liar comes out in '95.
Yeah.
I'm just talking about that period in particular.
Okay.
Yeah.
But sure, and I'm sure it still had the fact that I was influenced still to work on songs and you know, would even dream them. Well, I'd wake up from and have American Dreamer, you know, or Are We Dancing Yet, which is on A Liar.
You dreamed about American Dreamer?
Well, I did dream of American Dreamer, as a matter of fact.
How so?
I don't know, but I will say that the secret's out that the guitar in it, I think, is from Party Town, Glenn Frey, or is that Don Henley?
There's only one way to find out. Let's play American Dreamer by Poli Sci Clone.
Blame it on life, blame it on thrills. They won't give it up. Go till it kills. I'm the American dreamer. The American dreamer. You can blame it on shirts, blame it on shoes. They're wearing blue suede and singing the blues. I'm the American dreamer. The American dreamer. You can say it was right, say it was wrong. They did it all night, but it didn't last that long. The American dreamer. The American dreamer. I can take you right there, point it straight out. I don't think you care.
Okay, you just said the word psychedelia, and I was like, turn on the recorder, Dennis. Here goes Paul.
Well, getting back to the influences, my family also, aside from living in Florida, we had lived in California. I was born in California. And
San Diego?
Coronado. Then we moved up to the East Bay, San Leandro. We moved back to Norfolk. I live in Norfolk now, where I first heard the Beatles on WNOR. And then we moved back to California between 1964 and 1968. And when we first moved out there were beatniks, just like you saw in Dobie Gillis with Maynard Krebs. And 4 years later, they had grown the hair. They had just let it grow, and it was down their backs, and they were the hippies. But those 4 years, they were great influential times with that music out there, and that was all on the AM radio.
You were so young then.
I had older siblings, and my brother came home with Disraeli gears, and my sister bought the Beatle records. And
what was your Hendrix story you were about to say?
Was on the AM radio. All that stuff. Even though I was a kid, it was on the radio. In Norfolk, my sister went to school with her best friend was Frank Guida's daughter, and Frank Guida discovered Gary U.S. Bonds, and the Beatles on their that Peter Jackson 3 episode feature. They're jamming a Frank Guida song.
Your family, they were very open-minded. They didn't try to. You were a Catholic family, right?
Yeah.
But they didn't try to really enact those kind of stereotypes. You listened to whatever you wanted to, and we were lucky there. We weren't like listening to the Wheels on the Bus or anything like that. But later you were first in line to buy the Wendy O. Williams T-shirt.
Yeah.
So see what happens when you listen to the Beatles?
I was like, I had heard I Want to Hold Your Hand the second time, and I think WNOR was like one of 15 radio stations that got released to. And the second time I heard on, we were driving, and I managed to be out of the back of the station wagon with my hand on the radio dial saying, "This is my favorite song," turning it up. Mm-hmm. And during that time, the older sisters, they would have the radio on, listening to the Platters and In the Jungle.
So more like Eisenhower, Kennedy era stuff.
Yeah.
Where, that's that bad period for rock and roll historically that everybody says, is we're waiting for the British invasion to save.
Well, Pat Boone, he took it over.
You were a rock and roll Joe.
Oh, here you go. But pretty honestly,
whether you're a hippie or a punk, whatever era you're from, as an American under the protection of NATO, to be a rock and roll Joe. You're not a G.I. Joe, you're a rock and roll Joe.
Rock and roll, it really hit my soul. Oh, oh, oh. I even said when I was small, can nothing beat at all that rock and roll. as far as I go to carry out the promise of the land. The rock and roll is in your hand. I'm a rock and roll Joe. I'll go as far as I go to carry out the promise of the land. The rock and roll is in your hand. I'm a rock and roll Joe. I'll go as far as I go to carry out the promise of the land. The rock and roll is in your hand.
Is that on a lyre?
That is on Vibration.
Oh my God. I missed it again.
No, you may be right. I don't even.
Oh my Lord. So some of the songs for Psychedelvis you were pulling from Vibration. I thought they were all pulled from A Lyre, What You Gonna Do in the first cassette. But I guess not. Okay. Let's talk one last time about A Lyre. What's another tune on, I don't feel like we've covered A Lyre. Okay. Something you could pick and talk about on...
The Gate of Pride.
By Poli Sci Clone, and this is off, here goes, Abominable Lesions in Abdominal Regions, and Dennis loves this. Dennis, what's your title?
Gastroenterologist.
Gastroenterologist, and you're talking about abdominal lesions in abdominal regions. So Dennis is loving every minute of this.
So years old, saw on a ride, a mountain lion boldly grin, gave me a shot, looked at me with big eyes laughing. It's no need to fear, I'm not attacking. I'm staying here to guard the day of the triumphant. Yes, I knew it was a dream. I remember it well. But I was small and it seemed so real. You never can tell. Stood and placed its feet before me, led me down the path they went, led me to the very gate of the ride, triumphant. 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 So I took my steps lightly, feeling so insecure. Wore
my heart out on my sleeve, and I tried to be pure. In the lying he consoled me, that all just actors in our roles, and we never get beyond the day of triumphant, triumphant, triumphant.
My first writing effort was, after seeing the Beatles on the TV, I did go and get the drumsticks or something. I was hitting something, and I was coming up with something. And but if I mention it, you'll jump right to it. But yeah,
What?
split personality. When I was a kid, I remembered the chorus, and that came forward. But not these verses. These verses came later when I was walking, and so you're going to move, you're going to groove. And
Yeah.
has nothing to do with me having until I mentioned Distemper. Which you guys were in a band called Distemper, and I got it from that.
I had nothing to do with it. Okay, well, we've got to play Split Personality.
You're gonna move, you're gonna groove, yeah. You're gonna shake, like shaking big. You're gonna swing, might even sing. Honey, till they bind you to the hospital bed. Sign on the dotted line, be fully committed. I've got a split personality, split personality. I'm two laughs, I got a split personality. A split personality. I'm two halves, I'm two laughs. You're gonna try, you're gonna die trying. You're gonna lie, you can't deny it. It's just a lie. It's here to live it. Through the shock and the stimper, we can't even fight the world we're in. Escape it, baby, so you just turn it all in words. I've got a split personality.
That was Split Personality by Poli Sci Clone, a.k.a. the one-man band of Paul Woodard. We're talking to him tonight on the Black and Wyatt Records podcast. Dennis, we never ask anyone to hit the subscribe button. We don't ask people to do a promo for us. We're so cool. We don't even need it. But anyway, Paul, Split Personality, one of my faves. Anything else to say about it before we move on?
I realized that I do a lot of songs where I say I. So the last time I brought it out live, I changed it to make it more like fit with the verses, or so that I took out the I've got a, so that it's not another song where I'm so egocentric.
Okay.
It's just a lot of those.
Well, it's not really egocentric, is it? It's you identify with the character you're singing about. But then people think it's you're having the problem that you're singing about.
Well,
when clearly you don't have a split personality. You've got other issues, but you
if Dennis was a psychiatrist, he might know about the other one.
Well, when you were a kid, you were the youngest of all the siblings, right? Mm-hmm. Of 6.
Yeah.
So you were wanting attention. You wanted to be that kid that was seeing the Beatles and banging on something and saying, "Hey, look over here! I need some attention."
Well, again, you mentioned, my dad wasn't so. I don't know, he didn't come in and say turn that off when they were on the television. He embraced it just like we did. So
yeah,
we were lucky,
they were artful people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yes, my mom and dad.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But the other people, your other siblings didn't become musicians or anything. You were the one who...
But the one that invited me to Memphis, she was a poet, and she wrote a lot. And she was in a band. I was amazed by the fact that when she grew up in Norfolk, she sang, and she was often invited to be with a couple of groups, and they had skiffle bands, I guess is what you might...
Skiffle?
Well, they were the type
Lonnie Donegan stuff?
I don't know what she sang. Got an angel on my shoulder.
Oh, you mean the Peter, Paul, Mary stuff? Folk stuff?
Even preceding that.
Preceding it?
Well, certainly, because they were from the Bobby Sock.
How old is your sister?
15 years older. She would have been 15. The sister...
she's passed away.
Yes, passed
Yeah,
away.
yeah.
But I have one other sister. She's 16 years older, and they were very close. They were like the poodle skirt era, so they were listening to Frank Sinatra and...
Oh, even
Perry Como.
Pre-Elvis.
Yeah.
Wow. But the point is that all your siblings, you, especially having the gateway of all these older people, which, I didn't have. We interview a lot of people that talk about their older siblings, allowing them to allow them into a world that if you don't have older sisters or brothers, you just don't have that world. So that's interesting.
My sister Bernadette took us from Sacramento. She and her friend drove us up to San Francisco, and I was 9 years old, walking 5 feet behind them. And, kids can't do that today. But they were still thick as thieves with the hippies and the people offering them to have a doobie. And I don't even think they called it that.
Okay, so moving on, what was the next record?
We played Candleabrum. That was featured on Classic Aquatic. Some you can find on YouTube, but there's one that I'd like you to hear called Castaway.
You slipped away over the docks today. You crossed the ocean. Now you're on a plane. Oh, just how far is your reach? Now I'm standing on the sands at the shore of the beach. You slipped away over the docks today. You crossed the ocean. Where have you remained? I've come as far as open open arms can possibly reach. And now I'm standing on the sands of this lonely beach. And the moon has not moved me, and the tides drift away, called by the siren sea, and a star shines your way, and the time swims away. The perils of the deep, the waters forever keep. They'll never surface to expose what fate awaits when your last mistake was taking them all for granted. You've washed up on the shore. The winter is no more. There's only desolation off in each direction, and all you have upon you tatters damp in the wind. You've been away, how long will you stay? I've got no notion, where are you today? The seaside slips away, the morning becomes the day. The hours only are betrayed by shadows distance, and only after time is given for a second glance. The moonlight bathes your face. You're taken to another place, and once you're there you have their finest evenings offer, drawing tightly on the imagery until it's gone. I've come as far as open arms can possibly reach, and now I'm standing on what seems like the edge of the world. And the moon has not moved me, and the tide drifts away, caught by the siren sea, and the stars light the way, and the time swims